Have you ever wondered why the person who felt like your destiny suddenly became your greatest lesson? Why some loves seem written in the heavens, yet burn out before they even begin to bloom? Stay until the end of this video, because what you are about to hear might change the way you see every relationship you have ever had. The truth is written not in the moments you shared, but in the stars that designed your souls. Tonight, we step into the mystery of Taurus, the sign of sacred stability, sensual strength, and timeless devotion. But to understand its heart, we must also understand the forces that challenge it, the signs that test its patience, stretch its boundaries, and awaken its evolution. This is not a story of rejection or failure. It is a revelation. The universe never sends us the wrong people. It sends us mirrors that reveal what we still need to learn about love. If you are Taurus, or if you love one, open your heart right now, because this is not just astrology, it is spiritual truth. It is the language of the soul. It is the way the divine speaks through vibration, timing, and destiny. Every love that enters your life carries a sacred purpose. Some arrive to teach you patience, some to teach you strength, and some to teach you to finally let go. So, listen with your intuition, not just your mind. You are here for a reason. You are guided to this moment to receive exactly what your spirit is ready to understand. Taurus is not just a sign. It is an archetype, a vibration that lives in those who crave peace in a chaotic world. It is the energy of the builder, the lover, the preserver. Ruled by Venus, Taurus is a child of beauty and devotion. It is the soft touch after the storm, the calm after the noise, the presence that says, "You are safe here." In Taurus, we find the sacred balance between body and spirit, between comfort and creation. To be Taurus is to understand the value of stillness. You do not rush into life. You build it brick by brick, moment by moment. You believe in love that grows roots, not wings. You believe that beauty is not found in perfection, but in what endures. And yet, within that strength lies a paradox. The same earth that nurtures can also resist change. The same hands that protect can also cling too tightly. For Taurus, love is both sanctuary and lesson. The desire to hold on can sometimes keep them from letting life flow freely. They are often misunderstood. The world calls them stubborn, but their stillness is not resistance, it is reverence. It is the soul's way of saying, "I honor what matters." When Taurus loves, they do not love halfway. They give all of themselves, body, mind, and spirit. Their loyalty is sacred. Their word is a bond. Their heart is steady, ancient, and wise. To be loved by Taurus is to be seen, to be held, to be known. But it is also to be challenged to rise into your best self, because Taurus will not invest in what is temporary. This is the beauty and the burden of their energy. They are born to build, not to chase, to stay, not to run. Yet the universe, in its infinite wisdom, often sends them souls that test their endurance. Fire signs that provoke, air signs that detach, waters that flood their peace. These oppositions are not curses, they are catalysts. They arrive to show Taurus that love is not about possession but about presence. That peace is not the absence of chaos, but the ability to stand firm within it. Every Taurus carries the energy of the Earth Guardian, the one who protects the beauty of the world by embodying it. They teach us that consistency is a kind of magic, that patience is a form of prayer, and that slow love is sometimes the most powerful love of all. But the Earth Guardian must also learn when to let the seasons change, when to release what no longer blooms, when to trust that even in endings, life continues to grow in unseen ways. If you are Taurus, your soul chose this path for a reason. You were born to teach the world about grace, endurance, and self-worth. But you were also born to learn that strength is not control, it is surrender with faith. Breathe in this truth. Feel it settling into your heart. You are not losing stability when you evolve. You are deepening your roots in the soil of divine purpose. If this message speaks to your soul, if you feel the call of your own inner strength awakening, write in the comments, "I am grounded and I am growing." Sign number 5, Sagittarius, the wild flame. Sagittarius, the wildfire of the zodiac, the one who laughs in the face of limits, who sees a fence and instantly wonders what lies beyond it. And then we have Taurus, the keeper of peace, the builder of permanence, the soul that plants roots and calls it home. Can you already feel the tension between these two? When Taurus meets Sagittarius, it feels like stepping into a dream. Taurus is mesmerized by that free-spirited energy, the way Sagittarius seems to walk through life guided by invisible wings. There's something magnetic about that courage, that spontaneous laughter, that sense of adventure that refuses to bow to fear. For a while, Taurus feels alive again, awakened, pulled into motion by a force they cannot quite define. But soon, the winds shift. What first felt like freedom begins to feel like distance. Sagittarius starts to wander not necessarily away from Taurus, but into themselves, into the next idea, the next spark of curiosity. They live for exploration, both outer and inner. And Taurus, who craves constancy, begins to sense that this wild flame may never belong fully to them. Taurus builds, Sagittarius roams, Taurus roots, Sagittarius soars. It is as if the universe created them to test the other's definition of love. Taurus believes that love means staying. Sagittarius believes that love means growing without boundaries. And between those beliefs lies the friction that defines this pairing. At first, Taurus might try to hold Sagittarius closer, to make them feel safe, to show them that peace can be a kind of adventure too. But Sagittarius does not thrive in stillness. They are the traveler, the philosopher, the eternal student of life. The moment they feel confined, even by affection, they begin to fade like smoke in the morning air. This leaves Taurus confused. They wonder, why do they keep running? What am I not enough? But the truth is, it is not about worth, it is about rhythm. Taurus loves in seasons. Sagittarius loves in moments that expand like galaxies. Their clocks tick differently. One measures love in time, the other measures it in experience. And yet, this union holds a divine purpose. Sagittarius teaches Taurus the art of release, the sacred act of loving without possession, to open their hands and say, "Go, if you must. My love is strong enough to set you free." That lesson is one of the hardest for Taurus to learn, yet it is also one of the most freeing. It transforms their love from something earthly to something spiritual. On the other side, Taurus teaches Sagittarius that commitment is not a prison, it is a promise. That peace can be thrilling when shared with someone who sees you beyond your need for movement. Taurus shows them the beauty of staying, of watching something grow through patience, of understanding that not all adventures require motion. Some adventures happen quietly, inside the soul. Still, no matter how much wisdom this connection carries, it is rarely simple. The same chemistry that brings them together often becomes the fire that consumes them. Taurus will try to anchor the flame, while Sagittarius will try to turn the anchor into wings. Both love deeply, but they express it through different languages. Their conversations are a dance between earth and sky. Taurus speaks of what is real, tangible, and proven. Sagittarius speaks of what could be, what might exist beyond the horizon. Sometimes they misunderstand each other, not because they are opposites, but because they are reflections of two different truths. Taurus seeks peace in the known. Sagittarius seeks wisdom in the unknown. When they collide, they awaken something rare in one another. Taurus learns that letting go is not the same as losing. Sagittarius learns that slowing down does not mean being trapped. In that exchange, both grow, both evolve. The love may not always last, but the transformation it brings often does. This connection is not a mistake. It is a sacred meeting between freedom and devotion, between the path that stays and the one that wanders. The universe sends them to each other so that Taurus may remember that safety is not about control, and Sagittarius may remember that true freedom does not need to escape love, it can live within it. So when Taurus meets Sagittarius, it is not destiny gone wrong. It is destiny in motion. It is the universe saying, "Here is your mirror. Here is your test. Can you love without fear? Can you trust without possession? Can you stay when the wind blows, or let go when the fire calls?" The answers are never easy, but they are always divine. Sign number 4, Aquarius, the distant star. When Taurus meets Aquarius, it feels like meeting someone from another world. Taurus, ruled by Venus, moves slowly and with intention, savoring every taste of life, every heartbeat, every moment of presence. Aquarius, ruled by Uranus and Saturn, moves through life like a lightning bolt, fast, visionary, untamed. They are the wind that cannot be captured, the idea that cannot be contained. In the beginning, this connection feels magnetic. Taurus is captivated by Aquarius's mind, the intelligence, the originality, the confidence to stand apart from the crowd. And Aquarius, in turn, is drawn to Taurus's calm energy, that steady rhythm that feels like grounding in a world that never stops spinning. They admire one another because they each hold what the other lacks. Taurus brings peace. Aquarius brings progress. But soon, the same qualities that once fascinated them begin to create distance. Taurus, who loves to feel close, begins to sense the chill in Aquarius's independence. The Taurus heart wants affection, consistency, the small gestures that whisper, "I am here with you." Aquarius, however, is not always made for constant emotional exchange. They love deeply, but they express it through space, through freedom, through trust that does not require daily proof. For Taurus, this can feel like rejection. They may wonder, why do they pull away when things feel right? But for Aquarius, that space is sacred. It is not about leaving, it is about breathing. It is about recharging in solitude, so that when they return, their love is clearer, more authentic. To Taurus, that can feel confusing, even painful, because love for them is presence, while love for Aquarius is perspective. It is like earth and air trying to understand each other. Taurus wants to hold, to build, to stabilize. Aquarius wants to imagine, to change, to revolutionize. One is grounded in the tangible, the other is devoted to the infinite. They both crave meaning, but they chase it in opposite directions. When Taurus says, "Let's build a life," Aquarius replies, "Let's change the world." The energy is different, not wrong, just different. Taurus loves through the body, through time shared and promises kept. Aquarius loves through the mind, through ideas and possibilities. They are not heartless. They simply love in a way that transcends form. In their relationship, conversations can feel like constellations, fascinating, but far apart. Taurus speaks of what is seen and felt. Aquarius speaks of what has not yet been born. Taurus lives through memory and touch. Aquarius lives through vision and ideal. When these two try to meet in the middle, it can feel like trying to mix soil and starlight. But here lies the sacred challenge. This pairing teaches Taurus the art of detachment, not emotional coldness, but spiritual freedom. It whispers to Taurus, "You can love someone and still let them be who they are." It teaches that love does not always have to be constant presence. Sometimes love is trust, that exists even in distance. And for Aquarius, Taurus becomes the grounding that keeps their dreams from drifting into the clouds. Taurus reminds them that ideas mean little without embodiment, that it is not enough to imagine connection, it must be felt, experienced, nurtured. Through Taurus, Aquarius learns that staying does not mean losing freedom, and that commitment can also be a form of rebellion against chaos. Together, they form an unusual alchemy, the thinker and the feeler, the builder and the visionary. They frustrate each other, yet they also awaken something profound. Taurus learns to open the hand that holds too tightly. Aquarius learns to reach for the hand they once kept at a distance. Both are humbled by what the other reveals. Sometimes, this connection ends not in anger but in quiet understanding. They recognize that they were never meant to complete one another, but to expand one another. Taurus leaves with a heart more open to change. Aquarius leaves with a spirit more anchored in empathy. What they give to each other lingers, long after the relationship has faded from sight. So when Taurus meets Aquarius, it is not about perfection, it is about perspective. It is about learning that love is not always what makes sense, but what makes the soul grow. Taurus teaches that love must be real. Aquarius teaches that love must be free. Together, they remind the universe that even the most distant stars can still reflect the same light. Sign number 3, Leo, the golden mirror. When Taurus meets Leo, it feels like the meeting of royalty, the queen of earth and the king of fire. Both strong, both proud, both radiant in their own unique ways. There is admiration in their eyes from the very first moment. Taurus sees Leo as light, incarnate, bold, confident, magnetic. And Leo looks at Taurus and feels peace, stability, a grounding warmth that tames their restless heart. It starts like a story written in gold. In the beginning, they build each other up. Taurus nurtures Leo's dreams with quiet devotion, while Leo fills Taurus's world with color and excitement. They admire one another because they both understand the language of loyalty and love expressed through action. They share the same desire to build something lasting, something beautiful, something that feels worthy of their energy. But slowly, a subtle tension begins to appear. You see, both Taurus and Leo are fixed signs, meaning neither one likes to bend easily. They are two forces of nature standing tall, one rooted in the ground, the other blazing in the sky. Taurus needs peace. Leo needs recognition. Taurus wants calm affection. Leo wants fiery praise. And when both believe they are right, no one moves. Imagine this scene. Taurus wants a night of quiet togetherness, a moment to reconnect and feel safe. Leo, however, wants celebration, energy, attention, and perhaps an audience. Each believes their version of love is the truest one. But in that difference lies the sacred challenge of this connection. Taurus teaches patience, while Leo demands expression. Taurus says, "Love is built through time." Leo replies, "Love must shine to live." Both are right, but they must learn to dance rather than compete. At first, Taurus may admire Leo's warmth and generosity. Leo's laughter feels like sunlight breaking through clouds. It melts the walls around Taurus's heart. But as time passes, that same warmth can feel too intense, too demanding. Taurus, who values peace and subtle gestures, might start to feel overwhelmed by Leo's constant need to be seen and celebrated. And Leo, who thrives on admiration, might interpret Taurus's calm as lack of passion. The fire and the earth begin to misunderstand each other. Yet, despite the friction, there is profound beauty here. This connection brings lessons that no other sign can teach Taurus. Leo pushes Taurus out of comfort, asking them to speak, to express, to take pride in their love, rather than hiding it behind silence. Taurus teaches Leo the grace of consistency, that love is not a performance, it is presence. It is in the small gestures, the loyalty that never fades, the quiet devotion that doesn't need an audience. Both of them are ruled by celestial forces of beauty and pride. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love and harmony. Leo is ruled by the sun, the giver of life and light. When they come together, it is like Venus meeting the sun. Love meets illumination. But even the sun can scorch the rose if it stays too close for too long. Balance is everything. When Taurus feels unseen, they grow distant and still, retreating into silence like the earth closing itself for winter. Leo interprets that silence as disinterest, and their pride becomes wounded. So they shine brighter, talk louder, trying to reignite what feels dim. But Taurus does not respond to fire with fire. They respond to understanding, to patience, to presence. This is where the two must learn to meet in the middle, where earth warms without burning and fire shines without consuming. For all their differences, they are both driven by the same desire, to love deeply and to be loved fully. Both crave devotion, both value loyalty, both give generously when they trust. But trust is their battlefield. Taurus needs reassurance through stability. Leo needs it through admiration. One says, "Show me you are here." The other says, "Tell me you see me." If they can translate these languages of love, something truly magnificent can unfold. There is something spiritual in their connection. It's as if the universe brings them together to teach them the art of balancing humility and pride, silence and expression, grounding and radiance. Taurus learns to open their heart wider, to let light in without fear. Leo learns to love quietly, to stay present even when the spotlight fades. In this sacred exchange, both hearts evolve. If they part ways, it is rarely without respect. Deep down, Taurus will always admire Leo's bravery, that fearless way of being seen. And Leo will always remember Taurus as the one who showed them what true loyalty feels like. They may not walk the same path forever, but they will carry each other's lessons into every love that follows. Sign number 2, Gemini, the trickster wind. When Taurus meets Gemini, it feels like watching earth and air fall in love. One is grounded, slow, deliberate. The other is restless, curious, and forever changing direction. From the start, there's an undeniable pull between them. Taurus looks at Gemini and sees life in motion, a whirlwind of ideas, laughter, and possibilities. Gemini looks at Taurus and sees a sanctuary, a place of peace, a person who can hold them steady when the world spins too fast. At first, this dynamic feels electric. Taurus feels alive again, awakened by Gemini's youthful energy, the stories, the adventures, the endless curiosity that fills the room whenever Gemini speaks. And Gemini, ever fascinated by the stability of Taurus, is drawn to their calm presence, their reliability, the way they seem to anchor even chaos itself. It is a dance between curiosity and comfort, motion and stillness. For a time, they balance each other beautifully. But as the days turn into months, their rhythms begin to clash. Taurus craves routine, rituals, and reassurance. They love knowing what comes next, because it allows them to build something real, something lasting. Gemini, on the other hand, lives for change. They thrive on the unexpected, the thrill of discovery, the freedom to follow inspiration wherever it leads. To Taurus, this can feel unstable, even careless. To Gemini, Taurus can feel too predictable, too still. The truth is, Taurus and Gemini are operating from two different elements. One builds, the other explores. Taurus wants to plant seeds and nurture them patiently. Gemini wants to chase the wind and gather experiences. Taurus listens with their body and heart. Gemini listens with their mind. And when Taurus says, "Stay with me," Gemini hears, "Stop growing." That is where the misunderstanding begins. Taurus believes that love should be steady, a slow unfolding that gains meaning over time. Gemini believes love should be exciting, a constant discovery, a story that never stops changing. Neither is wrong. But when one tries to live through the other's definition of love, both begin to feel unseen. Taurus starts to feel insecure, wondering if Gemini's attention will drift. Gemini starts to feel trapped, afraid their spirit will be caged by comfort. And yet, in that very friction lies their deepest lesson. Gemini teaches Taurus that movement does not mean instability. Change does not destroy what is real. It simply evolves it. Gemini opens Taurus's eyes to the beauty of the unknown, reminding them that life cannot always be controlled. Sometimes it must be danced with. Taurus, in return, teaches Gemini that freedom does not vanish when roots are planted with love. Stability can be the foundation that allows wings to grow stronger. This connection is often unpredictable. One moment, they are inseparable, laughing about everything and nothing. The next, Taurus is retreating into silence, while Gemini disappears into a new idea or adventure. It can feel like chasing clouds no matter how hard Taurus tries to hold on. Gemini slips through their fingers. But this is not because Gemini does not care. It is because their love language is curiosity, and curiosity always moves. Taurus must learn to breathe through the uncertainty, to trust that even the wind has purpose. Gemini must learn to slow down and listen, to realize that some of life's most beautiful moments are not found in constant motion, but in stillness shared with another soul. Together, they are capable of great transformation if they can stop trying to change each other and instead allow their energies to coexist, one grounding, one expanding. Imagine this. Taurus sits under an old oak tree, solid and patient. Gemini dances around it, telling stories, exploring every branch and leaf, trying to understand how something can be so still, yet so alive. Taurus watches, smiling, realizing that even the wind has its own rhythm, one that can carve new life into the soil. Gemini, in turn, looks at the roots beneath the tree and understands that freedom without grounding is nothing but drift. When these two truly connect, they create a rare kind of magic. Taurus brings presence to Gemini's motion, giving their ideas form and depth. Gemini brings lightness to Taurus's stability, reminding them that laughter and spontaneity are forms of faith. Together, they show each other that love is not about choosing between peace and adventure. It is about finding the sacred balance between the two. Sign number 1, Aries, the warrior flame. When Taurus meets Aries, it is like witnessing the moment when fire first touches earth. You can almost hear the sizzle, that crackling of energy that feels both dangerous and divine. The chemistry is instant, the pull undeniable. Aries arrives like a storm, full of life, action, and passion. Taurus feels that spark deep in their bones, as if someone has finally awakened the part of them that was asleep. And for Aries, Taurus feels like solid ground, a place where they can rest after running through 1,000 battles. At first, this connection feels like destiny. Taurus admires Aries' bravery, that fierce will to conquer every challenge. Aries looks at Taurus and sees calm strength, the peace they didn't know they were craving. Together they create a magnetic balance, the flame that warms and the earth that holds it. But soon, that very dynamic begins to tremble under the weight of their differences. Aries is ruled by Mars, the planet of action and desire. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love and harmony. They are cosmic opposites, desire and peace, fire and soil. Aries moves fast, almost too fast for Taurus's patient heart. They chase, they act, they live, as if time itself is running out. Taurus, on the other hand, needs space to feel, to build, to trust. When Aries pushes forward, Taurus digs in deeper. When Taurus slows down, Aries grows restless. It becomes a dance between persistence and impulse. Picture this. Aries wants to jump. Taurus wants to plan. Aries wants adventure. Taurus wants assurance. Aries sees a challenge and runs toward it. Taurus sees the same challenge and studies it carefully before taking a single step. And while both are strong, their strength manifests differently. Aries' courage is loud, immediate, fiery. Taurus' courage is silent, enduring, unshakable. They are both warriors, but they fight in different ways. The tension between them is undeniable. Aries thrives on movement. Taurus seeks peace. Aries loves the thrill of beginnings. Taurus cherishes the comfort of stability. In love, this difference can either create extraordinary growth or endless frustration. For Taurus, Aries' passion can feel intoxicating at first, that spark, that rush, that sense of being alive. But over time, Taurus begins to crave consistency, depth, and reassurance. Aries, however, is drawn to novelty, spontaneity, and motion. They do not mean to hurt. They simply live through action rather than contemplation. And yet, even in this fiery storm, there is profound divine wisdom. Aries enters Taurus's life to teach them movement, to remind them that sometimes courage means taking a step even when the path is not certain. Aries teaches Taurus to act, to risk, to burn for something rather than waiting forever for the perfect moment. And Taurus, in return, teaches Aries the sacred power of patience, that passion without direction burns out, but passion guided by purpose becomes light that lasts. When these two signs collide, the air between them changes. There is laughter, argument, desire, silence, all swirling in a cycle of creation and destruction. Taurus tries to ground Aries, but the fire always seeks to rise. Aries tries to awaken Taurus, but the earth moves in its own rhythm. It is beautiful and complicated, both a blessing and a test. Aries challenges Taurus's need for control. They show Taurus that life cannot be managed like a garden, that sometimes the wild weeds are what bring the most unexpected beauty. They teach that love is not meant to be tamed, it is meant to be experienced. Taurus, in return, challenges Aries' restlessness. They show them that peace is not weakness, that slowing down can be just as courageous as running forward. Together, they redefine what strength and love really mean. But make no mistake, this is not an easy match. Their tempers can clash, their egos can collide, and their stubbornness can turn small disagreements into full battles. Both are strong-willed, both hate losing. When Aries feels blocked, they explode. When Taurus feels pressured, they shut down. Each tests the other's limits until they learn that love is not a battlefield, but a sacred space where both fire and earth can coexist. Still, the love between Taurus and Aries carries the raw energy of creation itself. It burns, it builds, it transforms. It may not always last, but it always leaves something behind: wisdom, growth, awakening. Aries teaches Taurus to open their eyes to possibility. Taurus teaches Aries to open their heart to peace. And in that exchange, both evolve into stronger, wiser versions of themselves. And as this story closes, may your heart remain open, your faith remain strong, and your path remain blessed. The universe has witnessed your tears, your hope, your patience, and it is preparing to send you a love that feels like homecoming. Until then, keep walking, keep trusting, keep shining, because your light, it was never meant to fade. If you felt something within you awaken tonight, let that feeling stay. Let it remind you that your soul is eternal, your journey is divine, and your heart, no matter how many times it is broken, was never meant to stop believing in love. Thank you for joining this journey through the stars. If you want to go deeper into your cosmic story, watch the other videos on this channel, each one crafted to awaken your intuition, expand your spirit, and guide you back to your divine truth. The stars are calling, and your story is only beginning.